Alycat and the Thursday Dessert Day by Alysson Foti Bourque. Alycat pounced down the stairs and onto the kitchen chair, with a pep in her step and a spring from her tail. It's dessert day at school today. It was Thursday, the second to last day of the school week. Alycat had been looking forward to this day her whole life. Well, her whole week. Make sure you eat all of your breakfast, Mom said. You wouldn't want dessert to be your only meal today. Well, that wouldn't be so bad, Alycat snickered as she scraped the last scoop of oatmeal out of her bowl. I wonder if the dessert will be ice cream, fudge popsicles, or those popsicles with ice cream in the middle, said Alycat. I love those, Bugsy announced. Well, it's too bad that your class only gets plain popsicles until you get to be as old as me. They're still yummy, sis, Bugsy said proudly. Don't you think, Mom? Plain popsicles, ice cream popsicles, and fudge popsicles are all great desserts, Mom said as she picked up the empty breakfast bowls from the table. What about popcorn popsicles? Bugsy joked. Yuck, not unless they're covered with extra butter, sprinkles, or chocolate, Alycat said as she licked her lips. That would be mighty tasty, said Dad. The bus is here, Mom called. Get your backpacks on. Love you to the moon and back, and have a great dessert day. Alycat and Bugsy scrambled out of their chairs and yelled, Love you to the moon and back, Mom and Dad. With their backpacks on and shoes tied, Alycat and Bugsy ran out the front door with a hop, skip, and leap all the way up the bus steps. Welcome, kittens, the bus driver announced. All aboard and take your seats. The kittens were off to school, and Alycat stared dreamily out the window, watching the trees and mailboxes flash as they passed. The faster the bus went, the blurrier the trees became. Alycat imagined the trees becoming popsicles as the orange fall leaves dropped to the ground. When it was finally lunchtime, Alycat was last to the lunchroom. She had been daydreaming about an orange popsicle with a sweet ice cream center and missed the bell ringing. Even while she waited in the lunch line, she thought about how cold the popsicle would taste on this hot day and how chewing on the end of the stick would help her wiggly tooth fall out. Next, shrieked the lunch lady. Alycat slid her tray down the line, watching as each of her friends grabbed a dessert at the end. There they are, Alycat thought excitingly. The popsicles were so cold, ice was falling off their wrappers. I can taste it now, Alycat exclaimed. But when she opened the icebox, there were no popsicles left. They're all gone, cried Alycat. How can that be? Alycat's teacher suggested she could get a popsicle from the younger kitten's icebox. I can't, whined Alycat. They're plain. If my popsicle doesn't have ice cream in the middle, I will not eat it. Tears filled Alycat's eyes and she hissed with disappointment. I've dreamed of this day my whole life. Well, my whole week, Alycat said sadly. I'm sorry, Alycat. If you want a popsicle, you must get what's left from the other kitten's side, her teacher explained. Remember, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I don't want any dessert at all, declared Alycat, quickly taking her plate. Tears rolled down her furry cheeks as she watched the other kittens finish their lunch and start on their dessert. Spotty saw Alycat in tears and quickly finished his dessert. Do you want to come play outside on the jungle gym, Alycat? Spotty asked. Alycat wiped her tears and shouted, I'll race you. Spotty and Alycat ran as fast as they could to the playground. You shouldn't be so sad about the dessert, Spotty said. It was the same old dessert we have every Thursday. Nothing exciting. Thanks for trying to make me feel better, Spotty, but those popsicles are really good. Yes, but it wouldn't hurt to have something different every once in a while. The bell rang and the kittens ran inside to start their math class, but Alycat was still sad about how she missed dessert day. The day went by and school came to a close. Alycat and Bugsy got off the bus and headed inside to greet their mom. How was dessert day? Mom asked excitingly. Great, said Bugsy. I had a blue popsicle, and it was so cold. I didn't have any dessert, Alycat protested. The lunchroom ran out of ice cream popsicles, and I didn't want anything else. You shouldn't let that stop you from getting another kind of dessert, said Mom. Sometimes change is good. I know, Mom, but it just wasn't fair, Alycat moaned as she ran up to her room. All evening she wished for a dessert as delicious as the ice cream popsicles, but she knew she didn't have anything at home that came close. I know, Alycat shrieked. I can make my own popsicles. Alycat ran to her craft set and pulled out 10 popsicle sticks and pounced into the kitchen. She popped a bag of popcorn in the microwave and poured it into a large bowl. Next, she took a large plate and filled it with chocolate syrup. Alycat dipped the popsicle sticks in the chocolate syrup and then rolled the sticks in the popcorn bowl until she had enough popcorn stuck. Lastly, Alycat sprinkled rainbow sprinkles onto the popcorn and voila! Popcorn popsicles, she squealed. Bugsy heard the commotion and ran into the kitchen. Where did you get those popcorn popsicles? He asked. I want one. I made them, and I'll make you one too, Alycat said excitedly. These are great, sis, Bugsy said as he gobbled up the last bite. You should make a bunch for your class for show and tell tomorrow. That's a great idea, agreed Alycat. Everyone will love them. The next day, Alycat brought the popcorn popsicles for everyone in her class. They were a big hit. I'm glad you were willing to try something new, said Alycat's teacher. These are the best popsicles I've ever tasted, said Spotty. I'm so glad we get to have dessert day again today. Me too, said Alycat as she ate the last piece of popcorn from her stick. Just then, Alycat felt a tiny pinch in her mouth. My tooth, Alycat screamed. It fell out. The other class kittens gathered around to see the excitement. I will use my tooth fairy money to buy more popsicle sticks and make more desserts, Alycat announced. Great idea, said Spotty. Thanks for bringing a new dessert today. Any time, said Alycat. I love dessert day. Trying new things is exciting.
You are listening to Confetti Park, a podcast brought to you by ConfettiPark.com.